Keith Thurman is out. Fundora's in. Let's talk.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex alive is one in the six. Fit the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to my LDBC. With what about 11 days, 12 days out or so, we get the news that Keith Thurman unfortunately suffers a bicep injury, and his fight with Tim Tszyu is canceled. And as of yesterday, I just found out, because I'm never on. I don't want to be first with the information. I'd rather be last with it and be as accurate as possible, because this might change for all we know. Fundora, who was also on the card, has now been elevated to fight Tim Tszyu. Fundora, last time I saw him, last time I remember him, if he's fought since Brian Mendoza, y'all let me know, because that is still stuck in my mind. This young man, 6'7", he's what you call a specimen. 6'7", he can make 154. That's amazing. If he can make the weight, he can make the weight. But it drives me up a tree when I see a physical specimen like Sebastian Fundora not use a jab. Why are you fighting on the inside when realistically you don't need to? Now I'm hearing things about he has bad eyesight. I don't know. I can't confirm any of that. I've never heard him say it in an interview. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe y'all would know better than me. That's why he fights on the inside. But that's a recipe for disaster. Now, he can fight on the inside, but a guy with that reach, his opponent's not supposed to know that he has an inside game until they close distance and get on the inside. Then they say, oh my God, he can fight on the inside. Let me get back out there. I'm better off trying to avoid this jab. I'm going up in there and I'm getting hit with uppercuts and stuff. But that's just my little pet peeve with Sebastian Fundora. Look, I guess his team knows what they're doing. It just drives me crazy when the kid this size, 6'7", 154, and he's not using a jab. I don't get it. Shout out to Dawson, but whatever, man. Good luck to him. He's stepping in to fight Tim Tszyu, and he's going to need an inside game fight against Tim Tszyu, because Tim Tszyu ain't playing around. Now, I was looking forward to Keith Thurman. Now, let me park here on Keith Thurman. This is why I'm doing this video. The brother's he's been injured, and I think inactivity and your body is not as young as it used to be. I mean, Keith Thurman was hot in these streets years ago. He was a hot commodity. He had the gift of gab. And then he started getting injured. When it was time for him to fight Errol Spence, the brother got injured. But magically, he was fine to fight Manny Pacquiao. And he had inactivity before he fought Manny Pacquiao himself. And he lost that fight. It was a close fight, but he lost that fight. He was dropped in the first round, bit of a flash, but he got hurt real bad to the body. Then he said he fought that fight with a broken rib. I don't know. I'm just going off of what he said, some of the things he said, some of the things that people have said. Look, I don't know. Only Keith knows. And if you can't get through a camp without getting injured at this point, because at this point, Keith is long in the tooth as far as boxing years is concerned. You postured. You could have fought Errol Spence. You didn't do it. You postured. You played your position as far as popularity and money and marketability was concerned. I guess money and marketability is the same thing. And we never got you versus Errol when we wanted it. We got you versus Manny Pacquiao, and you blew it. That was your first loss. Of all people, you blew it, Manny Pacquiao. And while you disappeared, you was hot on the mic. I mean, I guess you was hot on social media. People rose to the occasions, and to guys like Bud Crawford. And now we got Boots running around. And we don't know what Errol's doing exactly. but he hasn't announced his retirement. You understand? I don't know. Maybe you can grab an Errol fight if you can heal up from this. And we don't know what Errol's doing. Maybe now finally you guys, because Errol's been injured and you're injured. Maybe if you heal up, this Tim Tszyu ship has sailed. This is a fight that would have been interesting for me, because a few of my brothers were picking you to beat Tim Tszyu, because Tim Tszyu's tough, but there are things that I see a person with a good boxing IQ, and I would say Keith Thurman's boxing IQ is very high, and it wouldn't be a one-time situation where he's steamrolling Tim Tszyu. I think he would outbox him and maybe hurt him late. I mean, this is still Keith Thurman, right? That's a possibility. So a lot of my brothers gave him a chance. Salute to Oddfella, gave him a chance. I said, you know what? I could rock with that. Keith wasn't favored, but you know why I wasn't favored. Smaller guy, ring rust and things of that nature. So I understand. But it was something that, it sparked my interest. But, here's what's bad. Here's a domino effect. The main event is canceled. Fundora stepping in. This was Amazon Prime's first boxing event that we would have to pay for, I think, right? And they're already goofing off with this stuff, with Keith Thurman. I'm not saying Keith Thurman is not hurt. And when I understand, when I'm saying goofing off, I'm not saying that there's some sort of conspiracy. No. This would be the last thing that the PBC wants to do, is to play with this deal, because now you're on Amazon Prime. You want to show out on your first pay-per-view deal, and Keith is hurt. So enters Fundora, and they're hoping people are still going to want to pay for this. They're hoping that people are still going to want to pay for this. We're going to see. Am I going to buy the event? Yes, I am. I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm interested about what the production is going to be like, who's calling the fights, how well it's being called, how well the fights are being officiated. I'm interested to see what the undercard's looking like. I want to see what the product is going to look like on Amazon Prime. Is it going to have replay value? But already, their first go around with Amazon Prime in their main event is messed up. That's not good. But as far as Keith Thurman is concerned, brother, this is coming from a place of love. If you can't get through a camp, because getting hurt like this is from you. There's certain fighters that just don't do anything when they ain't got nothing lined up. It could 4 months, 6 months go by, and then you're like, oh man, we got to fight. When? 3 months. Oh, I better start running. And now you're getting in shape. You don't live in the gym. Floyd Mayweather lives in the gym, which is why he could pick this thing up and just never get hurt. He don't get these nagging injuries that a person that doesn't live a boxer's lifestyle get. One thing you say about Floyd is that he lives in the gym. Keith Thurman is not that guy. So I say this respectfully. If it's to the point where you're getting these injuries and stuff, walk away, man. Walk away before you get through a camp and then get in a fight and somebody really hurts you. Another guy that had to walk away was David Haye. Did y'all forget that David Haye was in camp to face Tyson Fury? Did y'all forget that? That was years ago. I want to say that was like 2012, 2011. I got to look it up. It was a long time ago. But that fight they went in camp. And I think David Haye had a bicep injury or something, or shoulder injury. He had surgery. I remember that. I was looking forward to that fight. I was leaning towards David. I said, man, David, but Fury, he's light on his feet, but this is going to be an interesting matchup. And that was good for British boxing. Do y'all remember that? I was looking forward to that fight at that time. I was looking forward to that fight. I can't remember if it was 2012, 2013. I don't remember. But they were in camp for that fight. It was signed. Everything was good. And David got injured. And I wasn't doing content back then, but I said, man, Dave, he got to hang it up now. He can't get to a goddamn camp now. You trying to turn around, something hurting on him? Nah, I'm good. Keith, if it's like that, bro, you know yourself. It gets to the point where the money's not important, because if you go in there with these injuries, a dude like Tim Tszyu, he's dangerous when he connects. He could hurt you, man. He could hurt you. I don't know if I don't know if Keith has children or not, man, but I don't think, or I would hope that you're not thirsty for money. I hope you're comfortable. At this point, you should be doing it for the love. And if you don't love this game anymore, it's okay to walk away, man. Not being in a Hall of Fame and stuff, that's something that you have to, if you're not going to be a ballot Hall of Famer sometime in the future, that's something you got to live with, because there was things that you could have done that you didn't do. And that's something you got to live with. But you're long in the tooth, and it's too late now to be trying to make histories. But if you can't get to a camp without getting injured, because these young kids coming up, they ain't playing with you, man. And they don't respect you as it is. They're trying to take your head off to get the way they got to go. They want to make as much money as they can while collecting these belts. That's why we salute these throwback fighters like Devin Haney, like Deontay Wilder, that are in pursuit of being the best. And you know what? I'll even give Tim Tszyu credit, because he said a lot of things that I agree with about the behavior of the fighters today. So I ain't got no problem with Tim Tszyu. I've grown to respect this kid. I'm like, man, he had to show me, man. He looks just like his dad. But I said, man, you gotta, I hope you like your dad, because Costa was like that. That man was a fighter. And although I don't see the same skill set, I think that he has enough youth in him that he can get there. So one thing I respect about Tim Tszyu is that he's game. And he's not going to show up to lay down. So I respect him. I do. I do respect Tim Tszyu. I do. And I also said that if Keith does lose this fight, it's not going to go to the cards. I think Keith is going to get stopped if it's going to go that way. But if Keith wins the fight, I think he'll outbox Tim down the stretch. Or he could hurt Tim late. That's why this was an interesting matchup. But Keith, brother, if you can't do it anymore, don't stick around and try and make history and cement your legacy when your body won't permit you. That's a recipe for disaster, man. Don't do it. At this point, you got a decision to make, brother. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all think. Bronx on deck.
Move!